I am so excited for this video. I am super excited to take you guys shopping, although I did find out maybe you're not supposed to film in grocery stores. Didn't realize that. Really, it's time to go through the store-bought pantry because we are only 4 days away from the pantry challenge and we need to make sure we have everything we need for the next 2 to 3 months, really, if we can make it that far. So stay tuned to see how we do with that. But first, we're going to take a look at these shelves and you're going to see a few, I will admit, blank spots that have me a little bit concerned because we've kind of put off buying things because the prices just haven't come down. But I think we're to that make or break point where we just have to stock it because I don't think the prices are getting any better anytime soon. So let's take a look and I'll show you those things that are going to make the shopping list for this trip. It's a bit dark in this corner of the pantry, so hopefully this is all going to get filmed quite well. But one thing that we've really changed this year from the pantry challenge last year is our eating habits. Last year, I stockpiled things like flour. These are still from last year because during the pantry challenge, we made the decision to no longer make and eat bread. Don't get me wrong, we still have a treat every now and then, but it's amazing how much flour we don't go through anymore. I still have it, we still use it on occasion, but it's getting pretty close to its expiration date. And I'm not going to worry about replacing that. But one thing that we do now stockpile are oats. Oats are a big replacement for us for wheat flour. We even grind those oats ourselves to make flour because, well, let's face it, oat flour, which I'll show you here. So this oat flour now is $6.99 in our grocery store. And I've searched. $6.49 is about the cheapest I can find it. And you've really got to be on the ball to notice those sales. So we've switched now to the large flake oats. $2.49. $2.49, 1 kg. It's even more weight than what you get in the already ground for a fraction of the cost. So of course now we are stockpiling oats like you wouldn't believe. They're also very handy for our granola and things like that. So even though it looks like I have a lot here, I'm not 100% convinced this is going to be enough for the 3 months. So we're probably going to pick up a couple more large flake oats as I remove a whole bunch of other stuff for you to be able to see it. But another thing that we need to always stockpile is our olive oil. I'll be honest with you, I probably haven't bought olive oil in almost a year. And that's because when I used to buy it, it was $4.88. $4.88 for a liter. And now $12.99. $12.99, and that's a sale price. That's what they advertise as a deal. So I am going to potentially buy a couple olive oil just to get me back up to having the 12 liters, but it's not a priority item. It would just be if I can find it at a deal. It's one of those items that even while we're in the midst of the pantry challenge, if I find some for $7.99, I will be buying it, even if it's not required. It's a basic stockpile item that you really don't want to pass up on those opportunities to get those items, even if you are in the midst of a pantry challenge, because let's face it, money's tight. And if you can make it go a little further, it doesn't matter if that costs you a little bit at that time when you're not supposed to be spending any money. But olive oil is another one we're going to watch out for in the grocery store and see how that does. But really, this section here is the one that's the weakest right now. Mayo. In the summertime, even in the winter, in a few occasions, we make all our own dressing, salad topping type stuff, dips, that sort of thing. And used to be $3.50. And I've been holding out, waiting and waiting for that to be $3.50 again. It hasn't happened. I was down to 1 jar. The other day, I actually bought 2. They were $4.69. And I thought, I'm going to buy it just because I don't want to run out. But that's something, 3 jars are not going to last us for the whole pantry tour. So we're buying that whether it's on sale or not. That's coming on this grocery haul. The other thing, and this is just completely slipping the mind really, is mustard. I'm down to 1 honey mustard, which we very rarely even use. And that's it. So mustard is certainly on the shopping list. All kinds. Dijon, that old fashioned with the grains in it. Love that one. And obviously plain because the kids like their cheese sandwiches with mustard for lunches. So that's something that we need to stockpile. I think we're probably going to be looking at least getting 4 or 5 containers of that because it doesn't last as long as you think it's going to last. Peanut butter, as you can see, I think we're well stocked now. Really, the only thing we use that for is in pad thais and stir fries because we don't really do toast and stuff anymore. Cocoa is another big used item around here. And let me get this one out. That's the size that I normally would buy. And this is the last one that I purchased at $3.88. And now that is what I get for $3.88. So I have not stockpiled it, but between making hot chocolates and granolas and things like that, this is an item that we need to have more than just 2 or 3 up here for stock. So that's a big one on the shopping list as well. And another kind of commonly bought thing for our family to have down in the pantry is trail mix type stuff. You know, seeds, nuts, chocolate chips, all that sort of thing, so that we can make those little snackety foods that see us through, so that we don't need cookies and things. But as you'll see up on that top shelf, there's a little bit of junk food too. There's some veggie straws, some nachos, things like that, which we do stock down here. We don't eat them very often, but we do keep some, and we probably will pick up a few more just to see us through. But all in all, we're pretty good at not consuming too much of that mass-produced product. For spices and things, we are pretty set. I don't know if there's anything we really need, but that's because we often buy in these big bags like turmerics and spices for curries and that sort of thing, cinnamon, pepper, and we have a lot of bags of that. So it would be a great opportunity with this challenge to really start plowing through some of those older bags that have been down here. So I'm not going to give away too much of our shopping trip before we even go on the shopping trip, but one thing that we always are stockpiling, even though we grow a lot of them, are beans. Beans are an awesome staple that keeps for quite some time. And as we strive to grow more of it ourselves on the homestead, they're a cheap item to really bulk out the pantry, bulk out meals. So beans are on the shopping list.
Well, we are on the road to the big city to get this grocery haul sorted.
Sorry.
You can see the bumps. So we'll let you know when we get to the first stop.
Well, we're starting with the worst of the worst, because Walmart is one of my least favorite places to go. Same with Chris, so we're going to tackle this one first. Total teaser as we leave Walmart. We forgot our bags, so you guys don't even get any idea of what we bought until we get home. But I will show you. $271.45 was spent. And that did include $30 for the totes since we forgot our bags.
But that made more sense than buying a whole bunch of bags that we already have at home.
Exactly, because we would have been $15 worth of bags. But as you just said as we came out, Chris, surprised because it actually wasn't that bad.
No, I think we're pretty smart at shopping as to what we get.
That's the beauty of only needing the basics rather than the processed.
It's not basics. It's only needing certain things that we can't produce ourselves.
So far, our shopping trip has been kind of eventful. We just got ousted out of the mall for a fire alarm. But anyways, that was exciting. So now we're on to our last stop. We only had 2 stops for today, and it's at Food Basics. But we've made a pretty good dent on our list, and there's only a few items in here that we've got to get. Plus, they had some good sales in the flyer, so we're going to hopefully be able to get those if they have them in stock still. And then it's off to home to show you what we got. The last shop of the day is all finished, and Chris is loading it into the car. I didn't film any footage in there, but that's okay. We have done a good job. The only item we didn't get actually that was on our whole list was the vegetable oil. It was all gone, of course, because it was at a fantastic price, which I kind of anticipated was going to happen. But in total, we ended up spending $142 there, and we did buy bags because, well, we needed them. Anyways, time to get home. It's starting to get dark, and we still have chores to do, and then we will unload and look at our haul. Well, we are back at the house later than we intended with our 2 totes and a bunch of bags and a whole lot of sugar. And it's time to unload this and see just what we got. I will admit, I am pleasantly surprised with how much I think we managed to accumulate for the money spent, but we're not going to reveal those details till the end. Let's get it all out on the table so you guys can be excited too.
Here it is. It's a pretty full table of treasures. Most of this is going to the pantry or the freezers, but we're going to kind of run through what some of it is.
This is a big grocery shop for us. I will say we normally maybe $75, $100 would be a big shop, but this definitely topped the budget. But we had a reason for that, right? We're coming into the pantry challenge and we're not going to be shopping for 2 to 3 months. A lot of this is actually stock in the pantry for even after that, as you'll see coming up here on a pantry tour, just what we've got down there. But there definitely were some great deals out there to be had, that's for sure. One thing that we love to have is tea, herbal teas, that sort of thing. The Tetley herbal tea is a family favorite. We love having multiple kinds of this, and there were some new ones, including this one here and a few other ones. So we figured we'd splurge on those. They were $2.97 a container, regular $3.97, so not too bad. And by getting 4 or 5 containers, we're good to go now for at least till March. Another interesting bit that we have found previously at Walmart, and we didn't find it again until now, was these little ginger drink mixes. Amazing in tea for a bit of flavoring of that ginger and to give you that little health benefit. So we bought 2 of those because they're not always there. That's one thing. When you find something good that you like, make sure you get enough to last a while, just in case. At the front of the table there, you're going to see those condiments that we talked about earlier in this video. The mayo and the mustard. Nice and stocked back up. And the mayo was actually $4.44, which wasn't too bad. A whole bunch of bulk discounted bananas. We love those. We chop them up into 1 or 2 inch pieces, pop them on a tray in the freezer and flash freeze them. And then we use them in smoothies all winter long. So this is great. We're always watching the discount bin, and you should be too. And like I said, we're just going to quickly try and move across this table. Here we stocked up on a whole bunch of stuff for, what do you call that stuff? Trail mix making, because we like to do our own trail mix. The one thing we were disappointed in, there was no big bags of dried cranberries. So not sure why, if people just kind of nabbed them over Christmas, but anyways, we were short on that, so hopefully what we have in stock down there will keep us going. Another area that was a little bit disappointing when we were shopping was the beans. They didn't have any big bulk bags, so we did pick up a few little bags just to see us through. That is something we will be watching for, even though we're on the pantry challenge. Beans are important, and we like to keep them stocked, so I'll talk about that a little bit later at the end of this video of what kind of shopping we're going to be doing during the pantry challenge. And in our middle section here, we've kind of got some of those baking things that we needed. The one thing we did skip was the cocoa, because all they had was little containers and they were so expensive. And we splurged on some wheat bran here because we're going to try and make some bran muffins and all sorts of goodies. So trying to be healthier, right?
It wasn't much of a splurge. I think it was like $2.47 or something like that.
If wheat bran, we've learned, is not something that's actually expensive. But one thing that was surprising, organic coconut shredded. We got this at Marshall's. It was, I'm going to look at my cheat sheet here, $4.79 a pack. That's pretty awesome. Downfall is it was taxed. I didn't think coconut would be taxed, but apparently at Marshall's it is. But that's okay, because next time you're buying coconut in the store, take a look at the other stuff that's added to it. This organic coconut shredded. That's it. And that's important to Chris and I here on the homestead. We want to make sure the kids are eating the good stuff as well. And we do like to make granola and cookies and things like that that have coconut in it. So we bought their last 3 bags because, hey, who knows when we're going to find this product again, because it's never in our grocery stores. So great price, great product. Super pleased with that. It was really funny that we just happened to go to the mall. Then we happened to have a fire alarm and had to be evacuated. And we waited anyways and went to Marshall's because we were there. And boom, got a product we've been looking for a very long time. So goes to show you never know where you're going to find what you need. Again, as we talked about earlier when we were checking in the pantry, quick oats and large flake oats, just to kind of bulk it out. I did only buy 1 of each bag because the large flake oats actually were a little bit pricey, but I still wanted to have one just in case. The quick oats were great price at $2.49. Can't beat that. One thing we did notice while we were in there, though, was that the oat flour had gone down by $1 in price, which is pretty good. Quinoa. This is a first for us, I think, for purchasing, to be honest. The other day, Alex and I actually tried going to Freshie. Is it Freshie or Freshly? I'll have to look that up. I think it's Freshie. Anyways, we went there for lunch, and they make these wonderful salad bowls with hot meat on them and sauces, and really, really good. And it had quinoa as the base mixed with rice. And even Alex was like, hey, I actually like quinoa. So we decided we were going to get some because it's a great healthy alternative for pastas and things like that. And we just had never thought about buying it before. And it was a great price. So I'm curious to use this throughout the pantry challenge and experiment a little bit and see how the family takes to it. Dawn dish soap. This is essential around here. We use dish soap for everything, whether it's getting rid of aphids on the plants and other bugs, or whether it's cleaning, or sometimes even in your shampoo. Maybe one day I'll share that recipe with you. But Those were on sale, great price. So we got 3 containers of the Dawn dish soap. They were $3.97 each, so that actually worked out better than buying the usual big bulk container that we normally buy. So gotta watch, because sometimes you gotta check the weights on things to make sure you are actually getting the best price, because sometimes bulk is not the best deal. So we also did get some Triscuit crackers and charcuterie meat, because for New Year's we're going to a potluck kind of finger food thing, and that's what we're going to be taking, is a charcuterie board with some leftover cheese from Christmas. So that's the real reason these are here. And also with some of that charcuterie meat, we are going to be using it in our pizza tonight. James is excited. He got a new book, a Friday Night at Freddy's cookbook for Christmas. So he's already in there making recipes. And that's why we had to buy this semolina flour, because the cookbook says we need it for our pizza dough. So he's already opened it and got our pizza dough rising. But that was another purchase that we made, which will be interesting to use throughout the Pantry Challenge, because it's not something we've ever used before. So we've got 3 bags here of the cane sugar. Each one of these is almost 5 kg.
So next we're on to some fresh and frozen stuff, and one of the first ones is frozen cranberries. This is obviously not something we grow ourselves, so this is not something we buy a lot of, but we were actually thinking about it the other day because we don't grow it. We probably never will, but check on the other channel and see, maybe we will someday. But it's really good to add to your diet, and we kind of got thinking, if we were making syrups or sauces or anything out of it, let's just get the cranberries, and then we can, for the little bit we may use, we'll just have those.
So we got 3 jars of pickles, all different types, because Alex and I love dill pickles, but there's a couple different ways to do it, and these are not homemade because our cucumbers were horrible this year. So we're trying a few different ones to see what we like. For the freezer, we got those items that we had mentioned, the 3 bags of corn and 2 bags of peas. Again, something that we just don't grow enough of. And we decided we're gonna try a pack of okra. This is a new thing for us. Neither of us have eaten okra, but we have seeds to grow okra next year, so we figure we better give it a try. Walmart had a fantastic deal on their olive oil. Granted, it was no $4.88, I'll tell you that. But we were at $11 for the oil, so we did buy 2 to top us back up to having 12 liters down there. Another thing at Food Basics that was a fantastic price is this Gailey Gold Sour Cream. Again, I'm going to tell you, check those ingredients in your products, because there really shouldn't be much in your sour cream. So in the Gailey Gold Sour Cream, you have milk, bacterial culture, microbial enzymes. That's it. There's no guar gums, there's no extras, there's no nothing. It's just what you would use at home if you were going to make it. And that is important to us, and that's why we go with the gold. Even though it's a little bit less sour cream per pot, it's still worth it to know what actually is in there, right?
You're basically actually buying sour cream.
Exactly. And another product that we buy specific is our mozzarella cheese for pizza. We want to make sure we do not have modified milk ingredients in there. That is one that is important to our diet. And these are fantastic deal. They were on for $5.49, usual $7.99. That's a great deal. We got 6, so hopefully that'll see us through the Pantry Challenge. Other than that, really, we got a couple veggies, lemons, because obviously we're not growing those yet. Although watch Hickory Crop Farm, because we do have some lemon trees. But really, the rest is kind of snackety treats. And we got a soda stream for Christmas, so we did buy a few syrups for the soda stream. But veggie straws for the kids' lunches, popcorn twist, because that's James's favorite. And apparently, James is going to make us some amazing, delicious dessert from this at some point during the challenge. So I'll try and catch that on film, but he hates to be on camera. So all in all, like I said, very pleased with the amount of food on this table for the, wait for it, I can't do a drum roll, I'm horrible at that, but we spent $389.71 in total. Now, that does sound like a lot, but really in the grand scheme of things, to see us through for what we need, this is about on par with what we would spend every month. And the plan is, we're not going to spend for 3 months, right? That's the plan. But the one thing that we are noticing is prices are going up. And if we didn't grow as much of our food as we do, this bill would be a lot higher. As you can see, there's very little vegetable product, absolutely no meat product, no eggs. Now, dairy is something that I do want to touch on right now. I did not buy any dairy other than the sour cream and cheese in this particular haul. But that is because over the Pantry Challenge, we are going to be going to the grocery store every week or two in order to buy our fresh milk to make yogurts and things like that. So that will be at the superstore. I'm telling you all this up front now so that you guys have proof. I've put it in writing, sort of, but the only flyers that I'm going to be looking at during the pantry tour are superstore. And if they do happen to have something that we cannot pass up on, I am going to buy it. And I will tell you about it, and we will be stocking it back in the pantry, because just because we're eating it down doesn't mean we shouldn't watch for those deals, because if you can save a penny, it counts. So stay tuned, because we're going to be embarking on this pantry challenge, and we're going to be strong this year. We're also going to be posting last year's videos at the same time, so be sure to watch the dates on those to make sure that you're watching which ones you want to watch. But it's interesting to compare what we did last year to this year. So that's why we wanted to make sure we loaded them both on the new channel. So without any further ado, Chris and I are going to go and do the fun job now of putting all of this away. I think that's the worst part about going grocery shopping. Putting it in the cart is so much more fun than trying to figure out putting it in the pantry. But stay tuned for the pantry tour later this week, because we're going to show you whether we got all of this put away and show you just how ready we are for the pantry challenge of 2024.